On today's episode, we review the Cubs sweep of the Mets, some more chatter on Trea Turner and Carlos Rodon, and more, all ahead on this exciting edition of Locked On Cubs.
Woo-hoo! Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Sweep it up, baby.
Break
Nice
out
job
the
by the
brooms as the Cubs sweep the Mets. 6-3, game 3 was the final score. And just a great series all around, very enjoyable. And it's good to have the broom back. Sam, how's it going? This was another great game. The Cubs got only 6 runs in the first inning, and it was plenty as they never looked back, and an exciting 3 games in Queens.
Oh, man. Sweeping these guys really makes me happy. I don't like the Mets. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just my dad with the 1969 stories, kind of trained me as I was a kid not to like the Mets, similar to Ron Santo. So that was fun. This was, some would say riveting. That might be too strong.
No, it's not too strong.
What a big hit from Yan Gomes in the first inning of this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Drew Smiley. We should make this like a chorus. I say something, you say amen. Drew Smiley continues to pitch well.
Amen.
Miguel Hermosillo found some grass in left field.
Say it louder for the people in the bed.
Woo, man. I mean, Suzuki, I'm a little worried about his hand.
Right.
And then what was he doing? What was he doing on that? What was he doing on that fly ball in center? That wasn't his ball.
Well, he wanted to go with it for reckless abandon, but Hermosillo with a great catch, Morel with great defense tonight.
PJ Higgins found some grass down the right field line.
I know. I have the Higgins thumbnail ready, just in case. But yeah, it was a good game. Obviously, the 6 runs really gets the gears going. You have all those doubles, then you have Velasquez driving in a run as well, and then Smiley and a quartet of relievers finished the job. But
Mark Leiter Jr. with a save.
Yeah, with his father in the stands, as Book said, he got that in 19 times in the last inning.
I was watching the Mets broadcast, Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling.
Right. That's a great broadcast. This sweep is
meaningless.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. But it's still really fun.
I think you could extract some meaning from it. You know what it is, Sam? And we're going to talk about it throughout the show. But it amplifies buzz.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, look, you made the
comment.
We're
not talking about Lightyear.
You made the comment a week or so ago about how the 14 team, I mean, there's really there's no correlation between the last couple weeks of this season and next year. I mean, there's no better example of that than Frank Schwindel.
Right.
But it's fun. I mean, we like the Cubs. So when the Cubs win, it's fun. So it's fun. You know what I mean? Does this have any impact on next season? No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. But it's still really fun. It's still made my Monday and Tuesday, a Wednesday, which really felt very fall-like outside, much better. And now we got an off day, and I got to tell you,
you're not sure what to do.
We're playing Colorado this weekend.
Yeah.
This thing may stick
Maybe
around.
Keep it there.
Yeah, I may not move this thing at all this weekend.
Well, you can keep it there at least until about 4 p.m. Friday, depending on that result.
I don't know. Might beat those guys. They got to win against the Sox, who continue to slip in the standings.
Yeah, the Guardians, are they finally going to pull away?
Sure.
We'll stay tuned for that.
And that'll be a day tilt tomorrow.
But were you able to locate your broom okay the last couple hours, because with the 6-run first, you have a lot of time.
Unfortunately, I know exactly where the broom is because you've been to my apartment before, and there's plenty of work to be done on the ground.
Right. It's a good household item to use.
Excuse me.
You're just caught up with Cubs fever right there.
Yeah. What'd you think about the plays that Morrell made on the defensive side of the ball tonight?
I thought he made some just nifty plays.
That play he made on was it that jerk Pete Alonso? I don't like that he homered today. If we were going to buzz somebody inside, it shouldn't have been McNeil. It should have been him.
Okay, Hawk Olber.
Yeah.
And no, Morrell was fantastic at short. The 6th position out there on the diamond. And, I think you visualize him being at all sorts of positions. And of course, we talked about Zobrist last week on the program.
Yeah.
And he's had convos with Morrell already.
Oh, okay.
But those were big plays. Those were big plays. And Drew Smiley's a ground ball pitcher, so you knew there was going to be action tonight. And I thought defensively, the team really did their job. And, the second half, Sam, the Cubs are now 26-25. They've won a lot of games.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I'm getting a little fatigued of Wisdom at the hot corner.
Well, he just returned.
Yeah, right.
He just returned. Yeah, well, see, the thing with Wisdom is he's for what he does.
Was that him today at third, or was that was him that made that mistake at third today, wasn't it? Or was it Bodie?
No, it was him. Bodie was at second.
Right. Okay, just want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah, for the price that some of these guys are making, you got to give them some shots, especially right now. But all good things in the Big Apple.
City Field.
City Field.
Manhattan.
And this puts a dent in one of the best teams in baseball. Who says this series doesn't put the Mets in a wild card game?
Well, it's unfortunate that Atlanta didn't really take much advantage of it.
Yeah, they won just on Monday, right?
Yeah, I think they won yesterday. They lost Monday and lost today. But yeah, no, I mean the Mets could have swept this series like everyone thought, including me, they were going to do, and had plenty of breathing room. But as Darling was saying today, it's dangerous to play a team that doesn't really have anything to lose, right? Cubs came out free flowing, drawing walks, getting base hits. Suzuki at a ball to center, I thought had a chance today.
Yeah. No, he gave that one a ride.
We were on the phone during that.
And, there is performances in series like this, and even the series with the Phillies to open the half, you just get a little more jacked up. And maybe it is a little more impressionable and a little more of a...
This is our third sweep of the year, or third sweep of the show. We had the Phillies and the 2-gamer against the Pirates, and now we got the Mets.
Yeah.
Cubs are just dominating the NL East.
Yeah, they're taking over the division, which is good to see. So off day on Thursday, a 3-gamer with the Rocks this weekend. That's going to be 3 straight 120 contests.
And there will not be a Chris Bryant Wrigley Field situation.
Reunion, right. And a bit of Cubs news before we continue with the show. Rafael Ortega, friend of the program, broke his finger. And Jared Young is with the big league club now from AAA Iowa. He'll make his debut this weekend.
Don't know much about Jared Young. I believe he's been spoken very highly of on this show live from our friend Aaron Salzberg. So we'll see what happens. You don't remember that?
I don't.
Now, it's interesting because you're big with English and comprehension and things like that. So
I don't remember Jared Young's name being mentioned.
Yeah, he mentioned it on
He's not a prospect, is he?
Yeah, I know. He mentioned it on...
Wow, I'm going to have to contact Aaron.
No, he mentioned it on our first live show. But that's all right. They'll listen to the listeners.
Right. And just repeat me if I'm incorrect here. Did you just mention my comprehension skills?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Well, I just know you're big on that. You're a big reader.
Right. I am. And I was going to try to make a transition there. I'm having trouble finding one. So the Cubs sweep the Mets.
I'm flexing. Did you see that?
Yes. Optimism for the future. And there's more, as well as there's continued discussion about 2 certain bound free agents. And we'll get to that coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your pro and college football betting needs and sports info this season. Not sure how much Sam and I will need that with our clubs, but with all the other 128 teams out there, you can find all the latest football league developments, game matchups, news, and podcasts, including this year's opening week's games. BetOnline is also your continued source for all your sports wagering info, including live betting and more. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Was that a shot at Illinois?
Yeah, that was a reference to Illinois and Iowa. Illinois should be 3-0.
Yeah, right.
Iowa should be launched to the moon.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure why we got the take, but that's fine. That's okay. Take a shot. So Matt, today in the news, let me do some stuff. Today in the news, I was a bit surprised by this.
Very surprising.
So Carlos Rodon did not surprise me. Of course, we covered that on the show last week. We beat these guys to the punch every time. Nobody credits us. Nobody CCs us.
We're never cited.
Nobody tags us.
Never.
And I don't appreciate it. But I was
say it louder for the people in the bed.
I was surprised to hear that Trea Turner had interest in the Cubs.
Pleasantly surprised.
I thought it was kind of a foregone conclusion he would remain a Dodger. Now, I did say on this show I had some concerns about him because of the way his game will age, because he's so reliant on speed. But when you really dig into the numbers, the guy is also a pure hitter. It'll be really interesting to see which one of these three guys they get, whether it be Turner, Correa, or Bogarts, because with the way Mr. Hoerner's playing short, will one of those guys be okay going to third base? And if not, how do they fill that third base position? Because it's not going to be from Nick Madrigal.
Right. Well, I think there is potentially momentum for, I kind of lean, and I guess I don't have any exact evidence for this, but I guess I lean Bogarts just in terms of his defensive metrics, that he would be someone where it's like, hey, claim evidence reasoning. Speaking of English class, hey, Xander, here's your numbers. We have these couple players here. What do you think about sliding over to third if you join us here?
And he's going to say, what do you think about giving me an extra $8 million a year?
Possibly. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not at the table.
But how about Rodon having interest in our baseball team?
Well, I'm not surprised by that. Let me just continue my Turner thoughts.
Sorry.
So Trea Turner, I wasn't sure he was that realistic. And the reason why I'm jacked up about this is because I feel as though he's the number 2 bat overall in the market. Okay. Aaron Judge is number 1. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, no, I've heard of him.
And then Trea Turner, so he's number 2 bat overall, number 1 shortstop overall. I think he's the best shortstop by far out of the 4 that are available, if you include Dansby Swanson in there. So
I slightly disagree.
It would be a huge signing.
I slightly disagree with that. With the by far.
Stephen A. Olber.
Well, no, we're allowed to disagree on this show.
Well, I guess the by far, that's my word choice, but I think he is the best.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think Carlos Correa, he's very good. If he comes in and plays shortstop for our baseball team next year, I'm not going to be angry about it.
Well, he's your leadoff hitter. He's your leadoff hitter too.
Yeah, he is your leadoff hitter.
You could pencil in a guy 162.
Yeah, no,
it'd be great.
Steal, and then you got those bigger bases. He might steal 60 bags.
So this is what are we making of this? Because we're on the forefront of the Rodon talks, and we're obviously patting ourselves on the back. But is it just more optimism that they are going to land a big player? What does this do?
I think it's just buzz, Matt.
Okay,
I think it's just buzz, right? Like it's just something's happening this offseason. The Cubs are getting, I think, 2 big names, and whoever's leaking it out is doing their best to let you know that that's happening. I don't think it's anything more than that. I don't know. I still don't know who it's going to be. I really don't. Maybe it's these 2 guys. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's one of them. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just think that there's enough buzz here where there's smoke, there's fire. The Cubs are going to add to their baseball team this year in a big way. And starting in April or late March of 2023, every
March
game's going to
30th is opening day.
yeah, it's and we're going to be hosting that team with the cheese, and e- every
Ah.
game every game's going to be must see, especially when Trea Turner gets a leadoff base hit, the first pitch of the campaign off of Corbin Burns, and 3 pitches later he's on third base.
Yeah, no, every game's going to be a rock program, a rock show. And it's going to be a great first series. You're going to have Rodon, you're going to have Stroman, you're going to have Steele. And so that's a great top 3. And the Cubs will be 3-0 after that series.
And if Brandon Woodruff comes in up and in on one of our guys, I may be one of those guys you see attack the field.
Now, Brandon in Peoria did text us tonight, Sam, and I wanted to get his message in right away because it flows what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
He says, just wanted to know your guys' opinion on all the Trea Turner and Carlos Rodon news circulating. And with that much spending, how will the Cubs fill holes elsewhere? Thanks, guys.
Yeah. First name one more time.
That's going to be Brandon from Peoria.
Brandon, yeah, fair question.
He's messaged before.
Fair question. And the answer I would give would be
It's a great question.
the margins. So let's just use these two guys as an example. Let's say they give $250 million to Turner and $120 million to Rodon over the course of X amount of years. How do they fill? Well, you go get some sort of defensive center fielder that we've talked about that's cheap, like a Jackie Bradley Jr. or Kevin Kiermaier for a year until your minor leaguers come up. Maybe you go get a cheap third baseman, or you give the keys to Morel, see how that goes a little bit. You have to. The answer is there is no answer. You have to get creative, but
right.
That's where it goes back to Jed. Jed has to do a better job hitting on those small moves because that's where these Descalzos come in. The Jonathan VRs come in.
Yeah.
The Andrelton Simmons comes in. Those cheap one-year deals, you got to hit on them.
Yeah, because with those players, you don't want to waste their time with the team.
Right. No, every year matters.
If it's just a few months with Kiermaier or JBJ, it's got to be they got to do a replacement level job at least.
I don't think if they get Rodon, they're going to have to add any more starting pitching.
So you think it's that big of a?
I think they just need one horse,
okay.
and then the rest of that will solve itself. They got a lot of depth there,
especially if they re-sign Smiley.
Yeah, or Miley. What are we doing? A haiku here?
We're doing a rhyming scheme. No, the depth. The list is long.
Smiley, Miley, Owsley, Thompson, Steele, Stroman, Player X,
Sampson,
Wisniewski, Samson,
Killian,
Assad. There's a lot of options there. Hopefully, some of them, get outs.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have one last question here.
Yeah,
as we record on September 14th.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to make me make a prediction here. This is your prediction voice. I already know. Put me on the spot, make a prediction, and when I'm wrong, everybody attacks me and says, I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what? Let's do it.
Okay. I'm glad thanks for being game for it.
Yeah, I'm always game.
So still 2 to 3 months, and I always have my lead up as well.
Yeah, you love the lead ups. You love context. What are you going to be for Halloween this year? I haven't been anything since I've been 17.
Yeah, I haven't dressed up for Halloween since I believe sophomore year of college.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
So thank you for your permission. So
say the date again.
So as we record here on September 14th,
sure.
Still 2 to 3 months from players actually signing with teams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Sam Olber, believe in your heart of hearts the Cubs will get one impact bat and one impact pitcher this offseason?
Yeah, I've said that multiple times in the show.
Okay.
So you're
convinced?
I think they are going to get a top 5-6 bat, a top 5-6 arm. Yes.
Let's go.
By the way, not that different than Stroman and Suzuki. Slightly upgraded from those two guys.
We have some more rules changes, analysis, I do believe, and I have it on this day in Cubs history, and that's all coming up next. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, your first listen every day. Thanks for tuning in for a Thursday episode as the Cubs sweep the Mets. As we close out today's program, Sam, I believe
I got a question for
you
you.
have some scenarios.
I was thinking about the rule changes with the pitch clock, and I was talking to somebody about it tonight, and I wanted to bring it to the show's attention. Matt, true or false, when you're at Wrigley Field, one of the best parts about being in a game is the late innings with 2 strikes when the crowd gets on their feet before a big pitch.
True.
True. That's going to be gone.
Because you have 20 seconds with the runner on base.
Yeah, people like Ian Happ made a great point today.
What did he say?
What happens in April when you foul off a pitch right off the the knob of the bat and your hand's stinging, you need a minute to step out of the box? Are you just going to call you out?
I would hope not. I would hope there's some discretion from the umpires, but I don't know.
One of my favorite parts about baseball
That's a worry for sure.
One of my favorite parts about baseball is that the anticipation. Yeah, of course, you don't want to take an hour between pitches like that guy in the Dodgers used to do, Pedro Baez or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
But 3-2 count, top 9, bases loaded, 2 out, Cubs up a run, and one of our guys is on the mound. I want everybody rising to their feet. I want this. This is the moment. This is what we got to race. We got 10, 9, pitch. It's going to feel robotic. I don't like it. The more and more I think about it, I don't like it. I'd like to hear what you think about it as the Cubs sweep the Mets tonight.
Well, I think there's a lot of pluses to have the clock, but when you zoom in like that, yeah, I get a little bit discouraged.
And what's going to be
I think we're all going to get used to it. I really do.
Yeah, I love baseball for a lot of reasons. But one of the main reasons, it's the only sport that's not played on a time limit.
Right?
I like that. Like when I go to softball tomorrow, I can't stand that we got a time limit.
Is it 50 minutes?
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I like to throw the ball around, warm up, chew a little gum, spit out between pitches, take a couple practice cuts, get a good swing in, throw the ball around the horn. It's a companion's game. It's not football where there's a 15-minute clock. And oh, by the way, with football, every game takes in college.
Yeah.
I feel like I could fly to LA and back and not miss a game. Somebody in the comments said, "Hey, I want to show Sam Cincinnati. It's not that bad of a city." I know it's not that bad of a city. I've been to Great American Ballpark a couple times. It's been a pleasure. It's just a bit. I like making fun of the teams in the division. St. Louis, Snorefest.
When I think about the pitch clock more,
you can disagree with me. You don't like me.
Well, my instinct is to say this. MLB's goal is to bring the average game time from 3:05, let's say, to 2:30 something. But is that adding fans by doing that?
No.
By cutting down 25 minutes?
No. And by the way,
what's 25 minutes? Well, it's an episode of the show.
If you don't want to watch baseball because it's 25 minutes too long, we don't want to have you.
That's what it comes down to.
You don't like the sport then.
That's probably true.
Let me tell you something. April 21st next year, if the Cubs are in a 20-inning game, I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
I know you'll see every pitch.
I don't miss pitches.
Right.
If I had a nickname on this show, it'd be Sam Doesn't Miss Pitches Olber. You can follow me on Twitter.
And finally, on this day in 2008, Carlos Zambrano completes a no-hitter against the Astros at Miller Park.
I remember it well. I was watching it upstairs with my dad. On our upstairs TV, we only had the channels 2, 5, 7, and 9, so it must have been a channel 9 tilt.
Right.
I remember it well. Oh, wait, my dad. So, quick story before we go off the air. My dad and we had season tickets growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And 2008 was the year my dad really thought the Cubs were going to do it. And when they got swept in 2008 by the Dodgers in Game 1 and James Loney hit a grand slam off Ryan Dempster in the 5th inning, my dad sold the season tickets. He couldn't take any more heartbreak. That was our last year.
Yeah. I think you may have mentioned that already.
On the show?
Yeah.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
But that's
All right.
okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't have the memory like I used to.
It'd be same here. Same here. But
Comment below if I mentioned
good
that
memories
already.
nonetheless.
Comment
Or actually
below if I
bad
mentioned
memories.
it already.
But, yeah.
I definitely mentioned the James Loney thing. I didn't know if I mentioned that my dad
If you
sold
revealed
the
that he
tickets.
sold the tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe we don't know specifically that it was right after that moment, but we do know that he did sell the tickets.
What you're saying is, and you're correct, it's an unnecessary story. I might have ruined the whole show.
No.
Okay, God bless you.
No. Thanks
Go
everybody
Cubs.
for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button on all your favorite Locked On Cubs content, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods, and drop us a text like Brandon did tonight, 312-834-4634. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. How about your second? Locked On MLB, where Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Also, Locked On has their game-to-game show now as well, where you can see Sam on Thursday with his instant reaction. That's Locked On game-to-game, which is on the Locked On MLB feed. That's been exciting to track their progress over there as well. Keep the brooms out, at least for another day or two. For Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.